Whenever you're ready. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly course according to plan. You are the creator of day and night, rolling the light, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever living God, may you reign continually over us into said eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening.
Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Thank you so much. Page 150.
Avat olam beit Yisrael amahavta. Torah mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shofenu v'kolmenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nizmach b'devrei Toratcha ובמצוותיך לעולם, לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם בישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. יהי חיינו באורך ימינו ובתי נהגי יומם בלילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, לעולמים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת.
Tamara Kerner, would you come up, please?
Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down, when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people, Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Thank you. As we prepare for the Shema, Marisha, would you come up? And if you're able, I invite you to rise for the Shema on page 152.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Elohim Adonai Echad. Baruch Shevot Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
You may be seated.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Thank you. On page 157, Karen Kramer, would you read for us? And also unmute. Karen? Can you unmute, please, and read for us?
Yes, I finally got unmuted. I'm sorry, I was trying.
It's okay.
Okay. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot. That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness. That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Thank you. Page 158.
Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Amo kabai livadona, Amo kane dava kodesh, Norati hilot osefele, Norate hilot osefele. Nale kote karo vaneka, Okei ayo, Nemushe. Zeli anove amro, Zeli anove amro. Adonai malach le'olam vaed. Adonai malach le'olam vaed.
V'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov ugealo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai Ga'al Yisrael. Page 161. Helene, would you read, please? Can you unmute, please?
Trying, my hands don't always move.
Okay. I'm never quite sure if someone is trying or if they forgot. So forgive me for.
No, it's me.
Okay.
My physical incapacity. Grant us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are our true protection and safety. And in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us as your shelter of peace. Over all we love, over all Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai haparei sukkot shalom aleinu. V'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Vishamru is on page 162. And Gail, you can make your way up here whenever you're ready. We're going to sing it first.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ששת ימים הסודות את השמיים ואת הארץ ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי כבוד וינפש. וביום השביעי כבוד וינפש.
The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed.
Thank you. On page 164. 164. If you're able, I invite you to rise.
Adonai Esephata Tiftach Uvi Hagiti Latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, דומה לחסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר, מושיע מגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם, בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, בחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל, ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים, ורופא חולים, Omati arasori, omekaye me monato, lishene ofa, michamo chabail gidorot, omidomela. Elech me tonakaye, o matni hakishua, Emana tala hakayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Yechayehi hakol. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, הקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. And Ellen Rothstein, would you please come up?
May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai Mikadesh HaShabbat.
Thank you. On page 175, Cecilia Kramer, would you unmute, please, and read for us?
You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, oh God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service.
Baruch atah Adonai she'otcha levadcha b'yirah na'avod. Prima. Page 177. Do you want a stool?
No,
No? Okay.
I'm afraid I'll fall off the stool.
Okay.
God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us, so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth, which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks.
Baruch atah Adonai hatov shemcha ulecha na'el lehodot.
When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shemcha ulecha na'el lehodot.
Shalom Rav is on page 178. And Myra Tattenbaum, you can make your way up here whenever you're ready.
Shalom Rav, Al Yisrael Lama, Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Lama. Tasim leolam. Ki ata melech Adon. L'chol ha-shalom. לטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom. Lie, 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 la, la, lie. Shalom.
Myra Tattenbaum. You want to read off of here or off of there?
I think this is better. Grant peace.
Sure.
Grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people, Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together through the light of your presence. Truly, through the light of your presence, Adonai, our God, you gave us a Torah of life, the love of kindness, justice, and blessing, mercy, life, and peace. May you see fit to bless your people Israel at all times, at every hour, with your peace. Inscribe. Praised are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace.
Baruch atah Adonai hamivarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Thank you. So we've come now to our quiet prayer, but you know what we didn't do? We had a couple of blessings of gratitude, but we didn't share our own gratitudes. And I just feel like there are a couple of people who have really special things that just happened that maybe they would like to share. Janice Isa? Yes? So Janice Isa just became a grandma for the first time to baby Layla. Right? Yes. Also, Lori Silverman recently had a new grandbaby. I mean, she didn't have the grandbaby, but she has a new grandbaby that her daughter-in-law had. And tomorrow is Noni's birthday. So happy birthday, Noni. So anybody else have like big gratitude things? Just don't want to take up a ton of time. Yes, Ellen. Excellent. So Ellen is grateful to all of the people who stepped up and helped with the Church Avenue Street Fair when she was unable to, and she named a bunch of them. Linda Kushner Silverman.
I was surprised with a huge bouquet of flowers from one of Seth's good friends.
All right. Modima Nachnulach. Diane Schenker.
I had a wonderful afternoon with my son and my home attendant. We went out to lunch. We walked Sheepshead Bay a little bit, and it was just a beautiful afternoon. I am thoroughly grateful.
All right. Amen to that. Okay. So we're having in the chat. Charlotte is grateful to celebrate with our women once again. Indeed. Lori Pandolfo says happy Mother's Day weekend. Eileen is cancer free. Modima Nachnulach and Mazel Tov. Patricia went through another challenge this week, but got some protection on the internet with a VPN. Yvette is grateful for our mothers, biological and otherwise. A couple of people are saying happy birthday to you. Linda Horowitz is grateful for her daughter Faith, otherwise she couldn't celebrate Mother's Day. Lori Pandolfo, thanks to Michael Rose for being so great. He's on his way to New Jersey to pick up our daughter now, but he stuck around long enough to make sure things were working. So yes, thanks to Michael Rose for being so great. Karen is grateful to be part of this Shabbat service. Doreen got 4 new tires on her car, which were needed, so she knows that now they're driving safely, unlike apparently before. So Modima Nachnulach for safety on the road. Yes. Okay.
And I'm grateful for Emily having her doing just an incredible debut at Carnegie Hall as a soloist in the Bach B minor mass, and she was just brilliant. So we're very proud of Emily.
Wonderful. Okay. Oh, what's this? And lots of people are saying happy Mother's Day, which is not strictly a gratitude thing. But since we're saying it, I will also say, as I said in my message in the links email this week, that we want to also keep in mind those for whom this is a difficult day, Mother's Day, because they don't have their moms anymore, or because they had wished to be moms and were not able to be, or they lost a child. So there are many reasons for which this could be a very difficult day for people, which takes nothing away from the appreciation that we show to the mothers among us. Just, we remember that there's different kinds of experiences that are all going on. And we're grateful for lots of different kinds of experiences and that we recognize them. And now we will come to our quiet prayer. There are words on pages 180 and 181. If you can see the screen, there are some words on the screen. But of course, we can always use the words that are in our own hearts. We continue quietly.
Something's wrong with her mic.
May our words of my mind
Yeah.
and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Amen. Oh,
We turn our thoughts now to those among us and those in our hearts who are ill and who are in need of healing of body, of mind, or of spirit. If you are on Zoom and you have names to add for prayers for healing, you can put them in the chat, and everyone will also have an opportunity to add names out loud. We hold in our thoughts and in our hearts for healing this evening Ira Weiss, Allison Plummer, Rabbi Dara Lerner, Susan Sisler, Joellen Fox, Valerie Pace, George Landberg, Sarah Ratliff, Kenny Schweiger, Paul Gold, Leslie Hirsch, Joan Lifshitz, Amy Juskowitz-Soonseller, Deanna Roth, Jonathan Falkowski, Martha and Ed Vincent, Ingrid Grosso, Audrey Cohen, Eddie DeAngelis, Vicky Lightnaker, Nettie Traumer, Mia Gannon, Jeff Abel, Monica Beyer, Erwin and Patty Cohen, Deborah Kosman, Jeffrey Schwimmer, Grace Schneider, Liz Yasada, Mark and Paul Steiner, Celia Karp, Anne-Marie Rogan, Marion Mandel, Sharon Zinn, Nicole Moskowitz, Stephen Belay, Suzanne Belay, Mike Wenzelberg, Elliot Drucker, Linda Abramowitz, Rotem Reich, Larry Perro, Larry Dash, Maureen Dash, Carolyn Dash, Daniel Kaplan, Nancy Weintraub, Delphine Wolf, Luis Perez, Rosie and Louis Rios, Jean Guskin, Kennedy O'Brien, Ira Singer, Patrick O'Brien, William Marcy, Martha Lowe, Courtney and Amy Thomas, Brian Wilco.
Matter of Brian. What's your name, Brian?
Augustine Davis, Damian Colon, Jerome Taylor, Ed Robinson, Joanna Marie, Teresa O'Sullivan, Jimmy Jenkins, Chanel Camabach, Juliette Dale, Maureen Dale, Elena Aram, Warren Feliz, Sylvia Silva, DeAndre Wynn, Jennifer Magoob, Sarah West, Tamia Bethia Williams, Franny Rothkin, Barry Charles, Stacy and David Mauser, Hannah Paines, Arlene Kakulis, Amy Balin, Helen Samuels, Dr. Helen Kramer, Harriet Holtzman, Ernest Tornin-Casa, Batya Unger, Pat Flood, Nancy Kelly, Cindy Rabinowitz, Dr. Craig Rosenbaum, Amy Langer, George Ridler, Joy Ojan, Merle Paisley, Audrey Wolf, Jackson and Tara Kushner, Shelley Samet, Carol and Stevie Doppelt, David Gershon, Linda Kushner Silverman. Doreen?
Larry and Lenore Arenell, Gertrude Bearwald, Irene Pepperman, Dr. Adam Friedman.
Anybody want to say a prayer for?
Diane Schenker, do you have names to add?
No, not tonight.
Okay.
Thank
Anyone else on Zoom? Okay. If you're in the room and you have names to add, please rise or raise your hand so that I can acknowledge you. Jane? Rob? Elaine? Mona? Rima?
Service.
Yeah. Janice? Alan? Anyone else? Okay, we include also all of those who are suffering from COVID-19, those who have been hurt in recent disasters, including gun violence and the wars and conflicts around the world, including in Afghanistan and in Ukraine and in Syria and in Israel. We include those who have been harmed in service to our country or Israel, and those who have been hurt in the recent natural disasters as well, including still the humongous earthquake in Turkey and the tornadoes here in the United States and all sorts of other things. So the Misha Berach is on page 371 in the middle of the page.
Berach Avotinu, Kara Bracha Avotinu. May the sons of who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with the Shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. There we go. Of the novels that I have read in recent months, which is not a huge number, but there are a few, my favorite by far is called Lessons in Chemistry. Yes, some of you have heard me wax rhapsodic about this novel already, and at least one of you borrowed it from me to read. I've read it twice already in the past few months. It's by Bonnie Garmis. It's about a scientist who is also a mother who struggles in her career because it's 1950s America. And she accidentally becomes the host of a hit television cooking show on which she teaches the chemistry of cooking to America's housewives. The book is funny and it's moving and it's unexpected and it's refreshing. I love the protagonist, the main character, Elizabeth Zott, who takes no nonsense from anyone and is just absolutely amazing. And at the end of each of her cooking chemistry shows, and this is not a spoiler, Elizabeth turns to the camera and says, "Children, set the table. Your mother needs a moment to herself." This Sunday, as we've already mentioned, is Mother's Day. And tonight, As we've also mentioned, and you've noticed, our service is being led by some of the remarkable women of our congregation. We live in a culture that really is relentlessly critical of women, mothers or not. Messaging from advertising and popular culture, so ubiquitous that sometimes we entirely stop noticing it, tells women that they aren't thin enough, that they need makeup in order to look natural, that looking younger is better, so try to get rid of your wrinkles and dye your hair. Mothers get little support in our society, and if they work outside the home, they're told they're not spending enough time with their children. And if they don't work outside the home, well, they're not really doing anything very valuable, are they? Our society teaches women, we talked about this a little bit in poetry text study too. Our society teaches women to take care of other people and does not teach women to take care of themselves. But all of us, whether we identify as women, as men, or non-binary, or any other kind of permutation of gender, need to take the time to care for ourselves. That is true across the board. Judaism codifies this by ordering us to rest on Shabbat, one day out of the week, though how much women who traditionally are responsible for the cooking and the cleaning and the childcare are how much they're actually able to rest on Shabbat, I'm not so sure. And for us as practitioners of Reform Judaism, who likely don't feel obligated to observe Shabbat in the halachic way, well, we may find that Shabbat gets eaten up by the demands of life. It's a day for grocery shopping when there wasn't time during the week, or for laundry, or for other errands. But the need for self-care remains, whether we honor it on Shabbat or any other time or not. Our tradition actually recognizes that this need extends beyond ourselves to the earth itself. In this week's Torah portion, the double portion, Bahar Bechukotai, we are instructed to let the land lie fallow for 1 year out of every 7, the sabbatical year, so that there is a Shabbat, a period of rest for the land. Now, in geological terms, a year for the land is less than a moment, right? It's very little time at all, a very brief rest for the earth. Back off, humans. The earth needs a moment to herself. But self-care doesn't just mean ceasing to work or stopping taking care of other people for a little while. That may not be enough, especially if our thoughts continue to race and turn to what still needs to be done, or perhaps what we're not doing because we're opting to rest, and that can take the restfulness right out of the rest. Sometimes we need to occupy our thoughts in nourishing ways by reading a really good novel that has nothing to do with work. I heard there's a good one called Lessons in Chemistry. Or by going to a museum, or maybe playing a sport like tennis. So those are mine. Those are some of the things that I do to just use my brain in a different way and bring more beauty into my life and receive that self-care, that nourishment. So yours may be different. I know many of you like to go to the Botanic Garden in Brooklyn, and that taking a walk in the park or in the Botanic Garden can certainly be one of these things. And I've recently begun to think about the concept of not just resting on Shabbat, but rejoicing on Shabbat, calling it a delight, as our Yismechu blessing says on Saturday mornings. So perhaps we could carve out some time on Shabbat specifically to give us delight, thus both observing Shabbat and also taking care of ourselves. On this special Shabbat, when our service is being led by the women of Beshert, a sisterhood organization, on the weekend of Mother's Day, let us take some time to engage in an activity that will bring rejuvenation to our spirits. May we be committed to recognizing our own need for self-care and supporting that for ourselves and also recognizing it for others. Amen and Shabbat Shalom. And now we're going to turn to page 570 in order to count the Omer, because we're still not to Shavuot, so we're still counting the Omer. Thank you for that reminder, Tamara. Page 570 in the bracketed numbers. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al spirat haomer. So today's 37. Hayom shiv'a ushloshim yom shehem chamisha shavuot ushne yamim la'omer. Today is the 37th day, making 5 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. And now we're going to turn to the Aleinu. Which Aleinu are we doing? The shorter one? Okay. So it begins on page 598 586 in the bracketed numbers at the top of the page. Oh. Okay. And Jane is here. Jane is going to read May We Gain Wisdom. I actually don't have the shorter one.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשינו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומי. הוא אלוהינו עליון, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, הכתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום להשיבות אל לבביך. כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחתינו. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
May we gain wisdom in our lives, like a river with understanding. Loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubts and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with the joy of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
Amen.
Amen. You may be seated. We turn our thoughts now to those who are no longer with us, our loved ones who have died in the past days or weeks or months or in past years at this time of the year. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598. And I am getting the yahrzeit list. Those of you who are here in person have the yahrzeit list in your bulletin. So I'm sharing our yahrzeit list to the screen. If you are on Zoom and have names to add for the Mourner's Kaddish, you can add them in the chat, and everyone will have a chance also to add names out loud. We remember those who have died in the past year. Fred Siegel, and I'll just mention that the family is continuing to sit Shiva after Shabbat tomorrow evening. They'll be accepting callers from, I think, 6:30 to 8:30, and I'll be leading a Shiva minyan at 7. On Sunday, it's 1 to 4 and 6:30 to 8:30, I believe, and that will be a Chabad-led Shiva minyan. Jeremy Briel, Rosalind Baylor, Ilona Schuring, Donna Brines, Marshall Greenman, Ellen Hoyt, Roz Spicer, Lila Fox, Beryl Pelmont Jurgrau, Zelda Klein, Dr. Usha Gorty, Elliot Woofsey, Carol Davis, Jerry Prezioso, Charles Dentrone, Murray Schechter, John Honan, Dottie Weiss Tabikman, Harold Shepard Jr., Eva Braxmajer, Madeline Hyatt, Ed Friedman, Ronald Homan, Erwin Bernstein, Shirley Amrani, Harry Goldberg, Lisa Friedman, Eleanor Teplitz, Patricia Christensen, Thea Platt Glasser, Sharon Cooper, William Fritz, Bernard Cohen, Lucy Palazzolo, Blair Ford, Shlomo Nakash, Arlene Scher, Abraham Finkel, Ron Cricky, Mimi Karp, Rochelle Rolnick, and Elaine Drucker. Included on our yahrzeit list today are Ray Bachner, Lisa Bachner's mother, Alex Hollander, Stan Hollander's father, Albert Hyman, Grace Schneider's father, Seth Kushner, Linda Kushner Silverman's son, Sylvia Levinson, Jeff Levinson's grandmother, Stephen Platkin, Sam and Fran Silverman's friend, Morris Salad, Grace Schneider's grandfather, and Edna Schachter, Gina Anderson's mother. Linda Kushner Silverman says her beloved son Seth will be gone 8 years on the 17th of May, and it feels like yesterday. Karen Kramer is remembering Paul Markowitz and George Politis. Charlotte?
Henry Corpus was the husband of Ilsa Corpus, who was a very good friend.
Thank you. Anyone else on Zoom? Okay. If you're in the room and you have names to add, I invite you to rise or raise your hand. Candy? Isaac? Thank you. Mara? Alan? So he is. Yes. Alan just mentioned Cantor Eugene Green, who was part of Temple Beth Emeth for a long time. Eric? Thank you. Ellen? Diane Schenker?
Anna Metz was both my kids' kindergarten teacher, and she was so little that both my kids were taller than she in kindergarten, and just such a sweet lady. I can't believe it.
Thank you. Anyone else?
We lost a great opera singer this week, Grace Bumbry, who was one
Yeah.
of the all-time greatest opera singers. And if you can read her obituary in the New York Times, what a life, what a voice.
We include also all of those who have died from COVID-19, as well as those who have died from other causes, whether in war or famine or terror or disaster, or alone and homeless on the streets of our cities. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 598, and I invite you, if you're able, to rise and join in or to participate according to your own custom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman kariv v'yamru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach le'olam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit aleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudisha, b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved here among us and wherever they may be. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. You may be seated.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, Yase shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
A few announcements before we conclude. Tomorrow morning at 9:45 is religious school. Biyachad is happening at 10 a.m. That'll be in person and on Zoom. And at 11 a.m. Shabbat services in person and on Zoom. Monday, gentle chair yoga and gentle qigong with meditation and Jewish wisdom with doctors Gail Levine Fried and Bob Fried. Did I say 4 o'clock on Monday? It's at 4 o'clock on Monday. You can sign up on Eventbrite. Space is limited. On Thursday at 1 p.m., except this week we're going to start at 12:30 p.m. Torah study with me on Zoom. We're going to start a little early because I have to go to a luncheon that starts at 2. There is also confirmation class that evening from 6:15 to 7:15 in person, and Israeli dance at 7:30 on that same Thursday evening in person. Tat Shabbat, 10 a.m. Phyllis, do you want to add something? You are right. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, that is after you're done Onegin. That sounds Swedish, Norwegian. What's Onegin? Eugene Onegin. Anyway, it doesn't matter. At 1 o'clock tomorrow, the Portable Crafts group is gathering in the community room, and we call it the Portable Crafts group because you bring your craft, and so like it has to be portable. You have to be able to bring it, and then we all sit around and we do our crafts together and we chit chat. And sometimes people bring snacks or they bring lunch, and it's lovely. So if you have any craft that you do that you can pack up and bring over, do it. We do jewelry making and felting and crocheting and knitting and all kinds of stuff, and it's delightful. June 11th. Yes, if you haven't yet reserved for the gala luncheon honoring past and present treasurers, Helene Smith and Jennifer Tattenbaum, you can still make reservations. We have 82 people, which is great. And so, yeah, you can still do that. The ad placing time has passed. You can't do that anymore. But you can still make a reservation, and that's on June 11th. Tat Shabbat, 10 a.m. Is Tat Shabbat 10 a.m. on Fridays. 3 kids today. It was very cute. Linda Horowitz says she spoke with Susan Sisler today, and Susan says hello and Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Then I will invite you. We're not doing closing song. We are doing closing song. It's not on my thing. What's it going to be?
You forgot because we were doing a special song tonight. Hear Our Voices.
I did forget. So our closing song is Hear Our Voices.
Now, the reason I chose this song for Women's Sisterhood Shabbat, Debbie Friedman wrote Hear Our Voices. And so just know that you'll sing along. It's actually she wrote it for a women's Shema Kolenu. So it's very, very appropriate. And you'll hear Shema Kolenu, hear our voices, Shema Kolenu, hear our song. So maybe you can just join in on that. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices, Shema Kolenu, hear our song. You'll hear that over and over again. And sure enough, she writes in, we are the women, we are the stories, each generation will pass them along. So listen to the words, very appropriate for this service. Debbie Friedman, woman composer. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. Shema Kolenu, hear our song. when we rise up in the morning, when we're walking along. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. Shema Kolenu, hear our song. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. Shema Kolenu, hear our song. All these words are words of freedom. We will sing as we march along. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. Shema Kolenu, hear our song. We are one in spirit. We are one in action. Nahaseh v'nishma. We will do and we will listen. The still small voice, the strength of her silence. It's within us. It's around us. We will do and we will listen. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. Shema Kolenu, hear our song. We are the women, we are the stories. Each generation will pass them along. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. Shema Kolenu, hear our song. One more verse. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. The Shema Kolenu, hear our song. We are the teachers, we are the students. Future, present, past, we are strong. Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. Shema Kolenu, hear our song. Hear our song. Hear our song. Hear our song.
If you're able, I invite you to rise. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless you and keep you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious to you. May God lift God's face toward you and give you peace. Amen. And before we go to the One, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom. And we have a special request. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Noni. Happy
birthday
to you.
Congratulations.
Shabbat shalom. Happy birthday.